Nobody in the history of the automobile has ever looked at 2,000 horsepower and thought, yes, this is exactly the right amount of power for a comfortable long-distance touring car. Nobody. Until Rimac. And the worst part, the part that should genuinely concern every other manufacturer on the planet, is that they pulled it off. Completely. Without compromise. Without apology. A 2,000 horsepower electric Grand Tourer that will cross a continent in silence and then, when you ask it to, rearrange your understanding of what fast actually means in under 2 seconds.
The automotive world has a very clear, very established idea of what a Grand Tourer is supposed to be. Comfortable, elegant, effortless. Something you drive from Monaco to the Amalfi Coast in a linen shirt without breaking a sweat. Rimac looked at that definition, understood it completely, and then decided to attach a weapon to it. I've been covering extreme machines for years. I know what genuine innovation feels like versus what good marketing feels like. The 2027 Rimac Grand Tourer, and yes, that is genuinely what they are calling it, with a completely straight face, is real innovation. The kind that happens once in a generation and changes the reference point for everything that comes after it.
The exterior is the first thing that tells you something unusual is happening here. Because it doesn't look like a hypercar. It doesn't look like it's trying to intimidate you. The body is long and sweeping, a fastback silhouette that draws the eye from the sharp nose all the way back to the tapered tail in one unbroken visual sentence. The surfaces are smooth and deliberate, shaped by aerodynamic necessity, but finished with the restraint of something that understands confidence, doesn't need to shout. The front end is wide and low, with a grille opening that exists purely for cooling. No decorative intent, no brand theater, just function so precise it became beautiful. The headlights run in thin horizontal signatures that give the front of the car a calm, focused expression, like someone who has already done the math and knows exactly what's about to happen.
The wheels are forged carbon. Each one a different diameter front to rear, sitting in arches that are muscular without being aggressive. The rear is where the restraint finally breaks slightly. A retractable spoiler deploys at speed with a motion so smooth it looks like the car is taking a breath. The exhaust? There is no exhaust. Of course there isn't. This is a Rimac. Open the door, which swings forward in a single fluid arc, and everything changes again. Because inside this machine is not a race car. Inside this machine is the most refined, most considered, most thoroughly luxurious interior Rimac has ever produced. The seats are hand-formed in Croatian leather, sourced from a family tannery operating for 4 generations. Heated, cooled, and fitted with a massage system originally developed for medical rehabilitation equipment. The dashboard is a single curved surface of open-pore walnut and brushed titanium. No screens interrupting the material, everything integrated so seamlessly you have to look twice to find the displays. The sound system has 32 speakers tuned specifically for the acoustic signature of this cabin at motorway speed. In silence, which is how this car travels most of the time, it plays road noise back into the cabin, filtered, processed, and reduced to something you'd call ambience, rather than intrusion. This is not a cockpit. This is a private jet that forgot it needed wings.
Now here's where things get genuinely, historically insane. Sources confirm the 2027 Rimac Grand Tourer runs 4 electric motors, 1 per wheel, producing a combined system output of 2,000 horsepower. 2,000. That number existed in the realm of fantasy 12 months ago. Today, it is a production specification. Torque vectoring operates individually at each corner with a processing speed that makes the human nervous system look like dial-up internet. 0 to 60 in 1.81 seconds. That is not a misprint. 1.81. The top speed is electronically governed at 258 miles per hour. Governed, meaning the car is capable of more. And Rimac made a decision. The range on a single charge is 400 miles. 400 miles of range in a 2,000 horsepower car. The engineering required to make those two numbers coexist in the same vehicle is the kind of thing that earns PhDs and rewrites textbooks. Driving this thing past a supercar in the fast lane isn't an event. It isn't main character energy. It is something closer to a philosophical experience. The moment where the car you just passed ceases to feel like competition and becomes simply a beautiful stationary object you happen to pass at 200 miles per hour while sitting in something that felt completely absurdly composed. Every other supercar manufacturer watching this reveal was fully in NPC mode.
Global production is limited to 150 units, each one built entirely by hand at Rimac's facility outside Zagreb, a factory that looks more like a technology campus than an assembly line. The price per unit begins at approximately 2.1 million euros before the personalization program, before the bespoke material selections, before Rimac's design team sits down with you for a week to build something that has never existed before and will never exist again. Several of these cars will approach 3 million euros by the time they are finished, and every single one of them will be finished differently.
That's not a price. That's a collaborative act between you and the most technically advanced automotive company on the planet. Here is what the 2027 Rimac Grand Tourer actually represents in the larger story of this industry. For 20 years, the argument against electric performance was always the same. It's fast in a straight line, but it's soulless, it's clinical, it's missing something. Rimac didn't argue with that criticism. They didn't write press releases about it. They just spent a decade building the answer, piece by piece, until the answer was so complete and so undeniable that the criticism simply had nowhere left to stand.
2,000 horsepower, 400 miles of range, hand-stitched Croatian leather, 32 speakers, a Grand Tourer. This isn't a car that ended the argument about electric performance. This is the car that made the argument feel embarrassing in retrospect. So tell me, 2,000 horsepower, and they called it a Grand Tourer. Is that the most confident thing any car company has ever done? Or has Rimac simply lost the plot in the most spectacular way possible? Drop your answer below.